What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, Cosmos Sessions 11. So today is a very interesting one. I want to talk about the future of astrology, or the future based on how I see it astrologically is a better way of putting it. So roll the intro. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome. So first of all, I just want to talk about this from my own perspective. I'm going to keep it pretty brief and short in this one. The outer planets in astrology, right? We're talking Saturn, we're talking Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, right? Mainly, you can throw Chiron in there. Technically, astrology is about planetary points rather than actual planets. So, and Jupiter's kind of like a middle planet. But basically, they move very, very slowly. So, in your natal chart, doesn't really, it matters, but it doesn't matter so much what sign your Pluto is in. Really, like a Pluto, your sign of Pluto represents your generation. So, Pluto and Scorpio generation, Pluto and Sag generation, right? So, we have the most interesting, this might not be the first time you've heard about it, but I've been talking about it for the past 4 years. And I think already in 2024, we've seen this kind of we've seen the beginning, right? We're just getting started. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get an image on here to show this, but basically if you think about it like this, right? In your chart, your big three is your sun, your moon, your rising, right? Your rising is like the kind of how you show yourself, right? Your personality. A lot to do with who you are, right? How you're experienced by the people, and just how you are in life, right? The mask, one could say. And then there's the sun, right, which is more of the masculine core essence of who you are, your identity, blah blah blah. Then there's the moon, which is really what the undertone, the feminine. It's like a yin yang with the sun and moon. So, and yeah, it really rules what's beneath the surface. And anyways, so in my belief system, I think that the Pluto represents the sun sign of a generation, and of a time. Hey, Esme, could join me. So basically, I also feel like Neptune is very, very similar to the moon sign. So check this out, guys. So and then Uranus, you could say ascendant, right? So we know that Pluto has switched to Aquarius already. Now, somehow, and if you actually look at the numbers, it's a miracle. There's no other way. The mathematical odds, if they could be calculated, it's it's ridiculous that this alignment can happen. So basically, you have Pluto, which moves extremely, extremely slow, that has just a few degrees each year entered Aquarius. So it's going to kind of be at the start of Aquarius for a long time. Uranus, which moves slow, also, but not even close to not as slow as Pluto. And this all happens in August 2025, and then in 2026 it because they retrograde. But basically, like the real beginning is August 2025. You have Uranus, which is the planet of change, switching from Taurus, which is a more a sign resistant to change, to Gemini, which is very Uranus works way better in Gemini than Taurus. So and stick with me here, because I'm gonna just it's gonna be a very good example of the energy when I put this all together. Then you have Neptune, which at the exact same time is moving from Pisces, the last sign, to Aries, starting a new cycle. So think of it like this: if all that there is was a big three, like a human, imagine the difference between someone who is a sun in Capricorn, right? We just moved out of Pluto in Capricorn. Moon in Pisces, So Capricorn Sun, Pisces Moon. Neptune's in Pisces right now. Will be for a bit longer. And ascendant in Taurus. So we got a Taurus rising. That's how the world's been, right? For a long time, we got a Taurus rising, Capricorn Sun, Taurus Moon, right? Or did I say Aries Moon? Or Pisces Moon. And we're switching from that, which is a very, very traditional, right? Pluto in Capricorn, just Capricorn in Taurus are they're signs that are, earth signs. There's not going to be as much change. There's not going to be as much dynamism. Now, I'm not going to get into the ways that all this could go very, very, very wrong, because as we know, if you think about Gemini people, if you think about Aries people, if you think about Aquarians, you see how the stability that Taurus and Capricorn can have can be a lot more advantageous. Now, remember, everything is the high and the low vibes, so we're praying, and there's going to be, some low vibe, some high vibe with this all. Now, stick with me. So now, imagine starting August 2025 and kind of towards the for a long time, but really it's not like overnight that it just shifts, right? It's gradual. It's already starting, but we will be having the Sun in Aquarius. We know how Aquarius are, right? Sun in Aquarius, right? And the Moon, once again, Neptune, in Aries. So we got an Aquarius Aries, already pretty crazy person. I don't know if you guys know any. I know some. They're not crazy in a bad way. They can be, though. Like the worst kombucha I've ever had, by the way. It's from Argentina. It's like tastes like alcohol, and it's like a gin. It's weird. I know there's whatever. Okay, and the rising, the Uranus, Gemini. So a Gemini rising, Esme, come here. You can tell me what you think too. Gemini rising, right? Aquarius Sun, Neptune what? Or not Neptune, Aries Moon. So it's crazy. Just think about the difference between those two people. Now this is the big part, right? Is that not only is there that difference, but they all aspect each other. So what that means is that Pluto is going to be trining Uranus, meaning 120-degree angle, a trine. They're both not, it's not like one's at 1 degree, Aquarius, and the other one's at 15 degrees Gemini. No, they're both at the, within a degree or two, very, 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 very close, right? So they have a trine, which is a very smooth aspect. They're both in air signs. And then in between, so it's called a mini grand trine if you have this in natal chart, right? In between the two is not only Neptune, Saturn and Neptune at the exact same time, or not exact same time, but they're both meeting, because Saturn moves a lot faster than Neptune. So Saturn's like this, Neptune's here slowly, Saturn's catching up, and then boom, they enter Aries, and then they're both equidistant, so they're in the midpoint, 60 degrees away each from Pluto on one side, Uranus on the other, in new signs, in new very dynamic signs. So they're like every single outer planet, which rules the unconscious of, which rules the generation, which rules the energy, the kind of color. I don't even know what you want to call it. It just rules, I guess if you're thinking about life as a painting, or as energy as a painting, the colors of that painting are shifting so crazily. We've never seen anything like this. And I don't say we've never seen anything like this, like so many other people out there, right? I'm not the first person to talk about this, but I always knew that this would be the big thing. I always knew that. So what does this mean, right? I've always, I think that, it's very easy to look at only the, the good and, kind of just how a Pluto and Aquarius generation, there's going to be a lot more movement, a lot more, a lot more openness to, especially like things like subjects like astrology, right? We already see how this new generation, a lot of them just accept it. It's just kind of a part of life. That's going to continue. That's going to go up and up and up and up. Not just with astrology. I said that like probably 5 years ago, I was like the first real famous astrologers, not like in the Hollywood, because even the word famous is going to become something different, right? You know what I mean? Maybe you don't. Maybe I don't. But just, yeah, the idea of fame. Well, I guess I would say that I think it's going to be a lot more about reality and what you can really do for someone, where your heart's really at. We see it now. Like, look at all, like, people cannot stand these fake celebrities, right? And it hasn't even hit its full boiling point yet. People are feeling like they're being challenged. They're feeling, and when you have all these planets that are leaving these slower signs, not dissing Capricorn and Taurus. I'm saying this in a big scale, large scale, right? When the mobilization of the people and the connection of the people is really, really what's going to, it's going to like be like a crazy just speeding up, like woo, maybe some big inventions, as I'm not the first to talk about with Aquarius, that like when they invented the internet a long time ago, like that wasn't even in our consciousness of what it could be. Even something like Bitcoin, right? Like, it's just, the idea of an invention is a car before, just airplane, like they sound like, it's things that we can't even think about right now, most likely. Now, of course, there's certain factions per se that might be opposed to this increase in human consciousness. Now, let me be very, very straightforward. I'm not talking politics on my channel at all, anything like that. I'm just speaking kind of how I feel. So, they're not stupid at all. So they understand that this increase will happen. So they will, try to do what they can to counter it, but they won't win. They will not win, right? People ask me a lot about AI, and I have my own thoughts of that, but I'm not going to get into them. But I don't fear it, and I have very, very good reasons, but I don't feel like going into that right now. But I guess all I will say is everything is God, right? And trying to understand God from a place of logic is just locking yourself in a closet, locking yourself in a prison, because it's not going to work. And I'm not saying I understand, God. I'm just saying I understand not how not to understand God. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's like I said, it's not fireworks, like, for sure. Like, we still have a lot of work to do. But for someone, in my position, I think a lot of the people watching who maybe have felt a little bit shortchanged by the world, and maybe your whole lives, right? You're going to be proven right for a lot of stuff, and you're going to be validated for a lot. And I've said this years ago to clients and people on my channel, on my Instagram. I always said, like, if you get into astrology, numerology, Reiki, whatever it is, if you get into these things now, you're gonna be like the student that that started the class early or whatever, right? You're gonna be ahead of the others. So yeah, those are some thoughts. And besides that, have a sip of this disgusting kombucha yerba mate. It's so bad. Ugh. It's not that bad, being a little bit dramatic. Yeah, but once again, like, you know, like kind of back to what I was saying before, like it's gonna, when I think of like someone famous or some, not fame is a weird, someone influential, people are gonna be turning to people who are true, their heart is in the right place. And I think a lot of people, I said this also a few years ago, God, the universe, whatever you want to call that, hides people sometimes. Some people are hidden for a reason. And I strongly believe that a lot of the best people, in terms of whether it's astrology, spiritual leaders of tomorrow, the energy now is not conducive to them. A lot of them maybe have an Instagram with 700 followers or 500 followers or less than 1,000, right? Or maybe they have no social media at all. But the energy is going to adapt to them. It's gonna feel more. For especially for very sensitive people, it's gonna feel more aligned with them, and they're gonna be like, all right, it's time. It's time for me to step out and do my thing. So, in conclusion, I don't want to sit here and act like it's all, I am very optimistic. I've been optimistic. I don't see why I shouldn't be. I think we've gone through, 2020, 2021, those years. I mean, yes, it can always get worse. That's kind of like the devil's advocate, and just always good to remember that we have to do our best individually, and not just think that, okay, yeah, this time's gonna come and everything's good. It's gonna happen. A lot of people say that there's the people who have done the work, right, or who are, there's one, I don't like using words like ascension or anything like that. Nothing against it. It's just not my thing. I try to, but there's people who are going to maybe go to another level, and that might just be consciousness, right? It might not be noticeable. It might not be so noticeable. I personally think that in time, maybe by decade's end, it's going to be super noticeable, right? Just because of every single outer planet changing signs, besides Chiron, if you count that. And Esme, she is going to be the biggest cat astrologer in the world. If you don't follow her on Instagram already, it's at Esme Cat Astrology. That's right, EZME Cat Astrology. So she is amazing. She actually helps me a lot. And yeah, maybe we'll be able to communicate with cats. That's my dream. I already do, kind of. Yeah, I do. Like literally, like they talk to me in meows. But yeah, so anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about the video. There's so much more I could say. Just stay in your integrity and keep fighting. I know it's kind of weird times a lot this year. I know April was supposed to be this amazing month for so many. I had like Uranus and Jupiter right on my midheaven, but that's just the importance of not having any expectations, right? It was a lot of people expressed to me that it was very tough for them. So. All right, guys, let me know in the comments, and also, readings. My wait list is low. I don't know where it's at when this comes out, but it's at 3 right now. So I got that down. I'm really working hard. I'm on my Saturn line, so I'm working hard at it. So that is that. I do one-on-one astrology teaching. So, I do a bunch of stuff. It's all on my website, jesseinnocentastrology.com, and follow me on my Instagram at jesseinnocentastro. That's where I have 2,000 posts. I think I'm a few posts away from 2K. Maybe I just hit 2K and I forgot to do a celebration post, but whatever, who cares? And what else was I going to say? Yeah, and guys, I'm starting on YouTube. I don't like to be the guy that asks for likes and subscribe and all that, but I really appreciate it if you do. I want this to be my main thing. Thank you so much. Ciao. Bye-bye.